Good erev Shabbos. We're here this evening to usher in the 7th day of Pesach, a time frame that's intimately associated with the climax of the Exodus, the splitting of the Red Sea, and our triumphant march through the standing walls of water while we traversed on dry land. Rashi explains the chronology: 3 days, another 3 days of pharaonic pursuit, cut on the shores of the Yam Suf, almost literally between a rock and a hard place, and then Nachshon jumping in and continuing striding into the water until it was up to his nose, and then it happened. There are communities where they stay up all night recounting and studying the miracle of the splitting of the Red Sea and traversing through. There are some communities where they throw water on the floor and prance through and dance around through the water until it's all gone. And there are times in our own lives that we find ourselves swamped, when the sea isn't splitting for us and we're into it up to our necks, if not up to our nostrils. A story told of a young man who approached his rabbi looking for guidance and strength. "Life is like an ocean," said the rabbi to the student. "There are waves that come crashing down, pushing us beneath the current, and just as quickly and as suddenly there are moments of calm. You, my dear student, were struck by a massive wave, and now you're trapped beneath the tide, unable to swim to the surface. The problem right now," the rabbi continued, said, "in your heart, you believe that life is about the calm between the waves." Months before this dialogue, the young man and his wife experienced tragedy, losing a child to a serious illness, and the loss was so immense, too immense, pain too deep. This wasn't a regular wave, it was a tsunami. The young man was drowning. His rabbi helped him change his entire perspective and take the next step forward. Life is not about the calm, it's about the waves. And the young man let those words linger in his mind, trying to internalize their message. We don't get to choose the waves that come our way, but we do decide how to respond to them. And it's our response to the waves that makes us the people that we are. The moment of calm, explained the rabbi, those moments are there so that we can catch our breath before the next wave hits. And those waves come and they disrupt the common, deliver growth opportunities, and some are more easily conquered than others. And then there are larger, more difficult waves like rejection and failure and sickness, and they force us to grit our teeth and clench our fists as we struggle our way through them. And there are tidal waves we can't ever imagine surviving, and they burst into our lives like an unwelcome visitor with a battering ram and slap the wind right out of our sails. God forbid, terminal illness, loss, death of a loved one. Those are waves that turn our world upside down, leaving us grappling in the dark. This is what type of wave that the young man was finding himself facing, and this is what the rabbi was telling him when he was saying that life is not about the calm. Life is about the waves. And I guess that's why we teach our kids how to swim. One of the mitzvahs that a parent has for his child. The story that's told in the Talmud about Rabbi Akiva sailing from Israel to Cyprus, and before he left port, he saw his prized student, Rabbi Meir, boarding on a much older vessel, also sailing to Cyprus. And in the midst of their journey, there was a terrible storm that broke. And Rabbi Akiva's heart broke as he gazed into the distance, and he saw how that storm was lashing the decrepit old boat that Rabbi Meir was on. And in a few moments, the ship that Rabbi Meir was on was sinking. And a tear slid down Rabbi Akiva's cheek. What a waste of a brilliant person, a brilliant mind. Several days later, having reached the shores of Cyprus, Rabbi Akiva emerged and entered a local synagogue and a house of study. Flabbergasted, he froze in the doorway. There was Rabbi Meir, sitting in the middle of a lecture with a group of Cypriot Talmud students. Seeing his teacher, Rabbi Meir paused his lesson and paid him his respects. "Rabbi Akiva, my honored master, please come inside." And Rabbi Akiva could barely speak. How did you survive? I saw your ship go down." "Simple, my master. Instead of focusing on the stormy sea, I rode one single wave at a time. I caught one wave after another wave until finally I reached the shore." That's the secret of staying on top when we seem to be buried by an unsurmountable load of stress. Don't fight the whole raging sea. Don't try and move a 1-ton boulder that's in your way. Take a hammer and break chips off the boulder, and before you know it, that ton of stress, that boulder, is no longer there. The secret of handling overload is dismantling it. Don't try to deal with all your problems all at once, all the pressures simultaneously. Ride one wave at a time. You'll make it safely to shore. And if you sometimes find that your body surfing techniques leave something to be desired, let me leave you with this story. It's found in Robert Fulghum's story, a book known, all I really needed to know I learned in kindergarten. A troubled man made an appointment with the rabbi. He was a wise and gentle rabbi. Rabbi, said the man, wringing his hands, I'm a failure. More than half the time I don't succeed in doing what I know I should be doing. Oh, said the rabbi. Please, say something wise, Rabbi. After much pondering, the rabbi responded, my son, let me give you this bit of wisdom. Go and look on page 930 of the New York Times Almanac for the year 1970. Maybe you'll find some peace of mind. Confused by such strange advice, the troubled guy went to the library to look up the source, and this is what he found. Lifetime batting averages of the world's greatest baseball players. Ty Cobb, the greatest slugger of them all, had a lifetime average of .367. Even the king of SWAT, Babe Ruth, didn't do that well. So the man returned to the rabbi and he said, okay, Ty Cobb, .367 average, that's it? Yes, said the rabbi. 367. He got a hit once out of maybe every 3 times at bat. He didn't even hit 500. He didn't even have like once out of every 2 times. So what do you expect of yourself? Ah, said the man who thought he was such a wretched failure because he succeeded only half the time at what he had to do. Theology is amazing. Robert Fulghum concludes, holy books abound even where we don't expect them. Just remember to take your head out of the water every so often, to refocus, recontextualize, to breathe, to pray, and then keep on swimming. Shabbat Shalom. See you on the other side.